if you're deaf or hearing impaired, the free-to-air Olympic coverage on Prime TV has near-live captioning. It's expensive, but to provide commentary, interviews and reaction to people who would otherwise be denied it is considered money well spent. Now, the money has been spent by the National Foundation for the Deaf. But listen to this. It is a media statement put out last week by the Ministers of Broadcasting and Disability Issues. It says, and I quote verbatim, the government, through New Zealand On Air, funds the charitable trust ABLE with $2.8 million a year to caption content on free-to-air TV. And it continues. It's been a great year for captioning in New Zealand. In February, Prime began broadcasting with captions, and the coverage of the Olympic Games in Rio, also on Prime, has substantial live captioning each day. Now, the clear inference is that the Olympic captions on Prime have been funded by the government through New Zealand On Air. So, Louise Sinden-Carroll from the National Foundation for the Deaf, is that the case?
Absolutely not. The Rio Olympics near-live captioning that is showing on the Sky TV free-to-air channel called Prime has been fully funded by the National Foundation for the Deaf because we realised that nobody else was going to stand up and give us access. And as a community and a sector, we're sick to death of not being able to understand what's going on in the amazing events such as the Olympics.
So when you saw this media statement, which really does suggest the funding has come from the government through New Zealand On Air and the charitable trust ABLE, what did you think?
We just felt really shafted, to be honest, really sidelined, really quite hurt and marginalised. So a number of us rang the Minister for Disability Issues office in Parliament and asked them to put out a statement just saying that the Olympics captioning was funded by the National Foundation for the Deaf. And they declined the opportunity, so we've taken the opportunity.
So you called Nikki Wagner's office and said, hey, this media statement clearly infers the government has funded it, the government hasn't funded it, we have. And what did they say back to you?
That initially when they spoke with me, they said they'd look into it. And then when a couple of other people with hearing loss also rang them and said, that's not fair, you need to make it clear. They were asked directly to put out a statement saying that we had funded it and also to say we need donations to cover the cost of this. And they declined. I was advised by one of the other callers that they declined, which left us in a situation where we felt like we were, to be frank, really dirt, like we don't matter, like we don't count. So it's just an ongoing marginalisation of us. They won't fund the captioning and then they won't recognise it when we do it. So it's really not fair.
How much did it cost you?
Cost us $200,000, and that funding will give us near-live captioning long-term on Sky TV Prime channel. So it's not just the Olympics, it's a whole range of near-live captioning.
And where do you get the money from? If you've got to stump up with $200,000, where does that come from?
It's from donations. And we don't have millions of dollars of reserves like the other big national charities. We just don't. So this has taken a fair wallop of our reserve funding. But we actually believe that this is so vital that we have to do it.
And all you're after is credit where credit's due, really.
Please. Yes, please. That's all we're asking for, because we've got a $3 telephone line out there for people to text the word GOLD to 4847. But if nobody will recognise what we've done, we're not getting any support.
Louise Sinden-Carroll from the National Foundation for the Deaf. Checkpoint asked both the Disability Minister, Nikki Wagner, and the Broadcasting Minister, Amy Adams, for comment. Ms Wagner's office referred us to Ms Adams' office as the quotes in question were hers. Ms Adams' office said the media statement did not mean to infer anything, and it has relayed that to the Foundation for the Deaf.